Fatima, what can you share your experience of getting two visa sponsorship? What worked for you?
Um, I would say what worked for me is the fact that, to be honest, when I got into my first NHS job, it was through agency, and then I would say I put in my best like every other person, and my attitude to work, I didn't allow whatever to like deter my attitude to work. I worked well. My relationship with my
So just for a
colleagues.
minute, so you have managed to get two visa sponsorship job when a
Yeah.
lot of people are struggling to get one. So what would you say how what can you tell us the process about how you got the visa sponsorship jobs?
Okay. The process is one, like was saying earlier, I was working in an NHS initially. So I approached my manager and she was like, "Oh, because of the way you are with your job, we wouldn't want to lose you." And she actually offered to give me a job, I mean a sponsorship. But then I went further to apply to another NHS, which was closer to family for me.
Okay.
And I went ahead to apply there. I applied severally to other NHS as well. And
Mm.
then later on, I got to realize that the way I was applying was wrong. And I needed to read between the lines and understand what the job application was all about.
Okay. We'll come to that in details. How long did it take for you to get your sponsorship visa when you applied, when you were granted the other job, the one you have now? How long did it take to get your visa?
At the moment my HR got in contact with me, I'm like, okay, Fatima, your present um, work visa is about to expire, so you need to start working on acquiring a new one. Everything didn't take more than, let's say, 2 weeks. That was from the moment I was told to the moment I got my visa. Because I said 2 weeks because when my HR sent me everything I would need, and the process that I would also need to like check my credentials and making sure that my credentials are like UK compliant, and moving on ahead to like apply for the visa itself. It took about 2 weeks or less because after the verification that my credentials were verified as UK certified, it took me about 2 days to get a reply from Home Office.
So in 2 days, you got your work permit.
Yes,
How many years work permit did the NHS give you?
3 years.
Okay. So the work permit that you have,
Yeah,
if assuming you were single, would you be able to bring your family to join you in the UK?
definitely.
Okay. So despite the fact that you are a care support worker with the NHS,
Yeah,
the work permit that you have allows you to bring your family to join in the UK. Is that correct?
yes.
Did you have to pay NHS subcharge?
No, as an
Uh,
NHS employee, NHS, I mean, the surcharge was waived.
Okay. So in terms of let's go through the visa, the job application process because a lot of people who are watching us now have heard stories of how people are being scammed through the COS scam. For you, you got your visa and everything free of charge. Now,
Yes.
in terms of applying for job, can you just guide us through the processes that you followed, some of the mistakes that you made, and how you corrected it before you landed your first and your second sponsorship jobs?
Yeah, before I got this my present job, I would say I applied severally, like to other NHS, and I was just getting loads of unfortunate responses. At some point, I almost gave up, but then um, I went further after listening to some other person talking, and then I went further to like be like, okay, do you know what? I really need to like review the way I've been applying for this job, if I'm really serious about getting a job with NHS,
Mhm.
I went further to look at the job specification. And when we are talking about job specifications, aside from the job specification that you would see at the page of the NHS, that's the job opening itself, there's another job specification that we also need to like look out, and you need to take your time to respond to every point made. I won't lie to you, this particular job, it took me about how many days still reviewing the job specifications. Like, I took my time. I really, really took my time, and I'm happy everything was successful. And another thing I would also say about the mistake we do is when we are writing job specification. Well, for me, I would say I would just copy and paste from the previous job specification, and then bam, submit. The next application, the same job specification, I paste, copy and paste, and bam. It doesn't work that way because different NHS adds different job specifications. So you need to like write your job specifications according to what is required, according to what the employer needs from you.
Okay. So it sounds like what you're saying is that job specification, that is where a lot of people get knocked back because they don't
Yeah.
answer the question that the employer is, in terms of what the employer is looking for, they
Yeah.
haven't addressed that, and therefore the employer is not going to consider them for the job. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. For somebody who is in the UK now,
Okay.
who have been told they've got 60 days to leave, or somebody who is looking for COS and
Okay.
is considering spending money on COS, what would you advise them to do that will increase their chances of getting visa sponsorship job free of charge, just like the way you have managed to get not one but two?
First of all, I would say another thing I would say is a common mistake is we always waiting till the last minute to. Yeah, I know that some of us are like, oh, do you know what? Wherever it is I'm working presently, they have promised me they will give me when my visa is about to expire. Because they promise it does not mean they are going to fulfill it. Look outside, look for other opportunities that may even be better than where you are at the moment. So before you have like 6 months to the end of your present visa, I believe that you should have been able to like apply to other places while you are hoping that where you are may actually go ahead and sponsor you or renew your visa. So because with NHS, I realized that they sponsor, well, I may be mistaken, but most of the time they sponsor band three. Yeah, they sponsor band three, they do not sponsor band two. But the thing is, if you go in as a band two healthcare worker, by the time you spend like 6 months within that particular NHS, there will be other openings for band three, which you can take opportunity because most of the time NHS take like give opportunities to those that are already in the system to apply for the job before they consider those outside. So when you are a band two and you apply for a band three, especially when you are really good at your job, you have done some trainings prior to that particular one, you may be lucky, especially when you are even being referred by your manager that, okay, yes, this particular person is able to do the job.
What about somebody that doesn't have, somebody who's in the UK now, they've just finished their masters, they haven't got any experience in care, and they want to work in care. We'll come to those outside the UK shortly.
Okay.
What do they need to do that would increase their chances of getting jobs with visa sponsorship in the UK?
First of all, I would say if you can get start working in an NHS close to you through an agency. But that was the first way I was able to get into NHS. I was working via an agency who was getting
Okay.
me shifts in an NHS organization.
Okay.
From there, I applied to become a full staff.
Mhm.
which I did, and that was how I got my first sponsorship.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing you can do is, like where I came in, I realized that there were like some people that were also with me, though Bantu, that had no experience, no care experience whatsoever, and they
Okay.
were employed.
How did they get a job?
They just applied like every other person, and they
Okay.
got the job.
Okay. There's somebody is asking, does that mean NHS gave you? Yes, NHS gave her work permit and she did
Yeah.
not pay any subcharge, and the
No.
visa that she has, the work permit that she has, she can bring her family to the UK. So for those outside the UK now who wants to come to the UK and work for organization like the NHS or a similar organization, what do they need to do that would increase their chances? You're hearing it now. This Fatima, sorry, Funke did not pay any money to
Mm.
for any sponsorship. She got a job and she didn't pay any NHS subcharge. She's got the job and she can bring her family to the UK on the visa that she got from the NHS. So for somebody who is watching us now from outside the UK, what do they need to do that would increase their chances of getting visa sponsorship jobs in the UK?
First of all, I would say do your due diligence. It is really, really important. Whatever it is, I say do your due diligence. So another thing I would say is, one, there are lots of trainings that you can do. One is phlebotomy, another is MVQ3. When you are doing this training, when you are about to embark on the journey of this training, do not just pay out your money to just anyhow people. Make sure that you have people that are certified to actually give you these trainings, because there are a lot of people outside there that claims to be certified and everything. Do your due diligence, make your researches, and make sure that yes, they can. So by the time you are able to like get this certificate, you should and apply the way you are meant to apply through the right channel. Yeah, I believe you should be able to like get a job with NHS.
So for somebody in Nigeria now, for
Yeah.
instance, where can they do NVQ level 3 and phlebotomy training?
Mm.
You don't
I
need
will
to make,
mention
yeah, if you know any credible organization that will help our audience that you can let us know.
I would mention one, and even after I mention the person or I mention the organization, still do your due diligence, please. It is very, very important. There's this person or this organization on IG, you can check them out. It's called Grammatorial. They appear to be really, really good, really credible. I have seen lots of reviews of people that have done training through them, and I've heard lots of good news from people as well. So you should want to check them out.
Okay. Did you use any solicitor to apply for your visa sponsorship?
No,
Okay.
I
And
did
you did
everything by myself.
you did everything yourself and you didn't pay any NHS subcharge. Is that
No,
correct? Oh,
no.
okay. So you mentioned job specification as one of the things that is very important why a lot of people don't get job.
Yeah.
What about CV? Is there any other thing that they need to be aware of for those already in the UK?
Well, when it comes to CV, yes, there's a CV that is UK compliant as well. Your CV needs to be like UK APAR, because yeah, there's a CV that we used to use back in Nigeria, and a UK has its own way. It's actually like its CV to be prepared. When you go on YouTube, you can check that out. Go on Google it, you see different templates on how to prepare your CV. But what is most important is what you have to offer. What are the job experience you have been able to like acquire? All of that needs to appear on your CV, because UK, I realized that UK does not really work with. Honestly, UK like thrive more on experience, what you have to offer, not so much on trainings, because a lot of people have trainings and then they still have nothing to offer. But whatever it is you have been able to acquire from your previous experiences and everything, it really plays a vital role in job application in the UK.
So for you now, you've been in the UK for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And in that 2 years, you've managed to get two visa sponsorship. For somebody who is watching now, who is considering going to pay 10,000 for COS, what would you need, what do you need to tell them about how they can get what you got without paying any money? Because a lot of people are being scammed.
Yeah, I know that. I've seen lots of that on YouTube, and it's really sad because it's not even easy to come about this money that they are being scammed off. Like, it's really, really serious. It's really pathetic. So what I would say is, one, don't wait until last minute before you start looking for a job that will offer you visa sponsorship. I know most people are trying, but it is what it is. Another thing I would say is, even if when you apply to NHS, even if it's not band three, and you have lots of time on your hands, like 6 months to a year, take the band two job. Take the band two job. When you getting in is the difficult part. Once you get in, try to prove yourself. And before you know it, there are always job vacancy for band three in every NHS. That is the truth. By the time you get in and you have been able to like put your best foot forward, you can now go ahead and apply for band three jobs, because within the NHS you are open to lots of opportunities to like develop yourself. So while you are in there, you are developing yourself. Free trainings, I tell you, within the NHS, you don't need to pay for these trainings while you are there. All you just need to do is approach your manager, tell your manager, oh, I would like to register for this and that training, and it is yours. I
Okay.
tell you. And once you are done with this training and you are willing to like apply for like roles that are above your present role, it will really, really help you.
Okay. If you know anyone in the UK or outside the UK who is looking for visa sponsorship job, this is a testimony. You've just heard from Funke. She did not pay any agent. She did everything herself. She got visa sponsorship jobs in the UK for two visa sponsorship job, one with the NHS and one with the prison. And now she's now with the NHS, and the visa sponsorship job that she has, she can bring her family to the UK. Share this video with anyone that you know who lives in the UK, who is looking for visa sponsorship job, or anyone abroad who is also looking for visa sponsorship job. Funke, what's your last advice for those in Nigeria or those abroad and those also in the UK who are looking for visa sponsorship job?
For those abroad, for those in the UK, I would say that first of all, make up your mind. What do you really want? That's the first step. Make up your mind. Not everybody wants to come to the UK, which I really understand.
Those
Yeah,
that
but
want to come to the UK. Before you say that, anybody that wants to reach out to Funke, her email is in the description section. If you contact me, I'll send you her email. If you want any guidance or you want any, you want to consult with her, you can reach out to me. I'll pass her details to you, and she might be able to offer you one or two support. So, what would you say?
yeah, make up your mind. And after you make up your mind, do your due diligence, talk to people. You can never go wrong by talking to people that are already in the system. Let them guide you. Do not make any haste in decisions. Do your read. Honestly, YouTube is your best friend. I would never overemphasize that. YouTube, like before I go on Google these days, I first of all go through Google. Like, I want to hear what people are doing. I want to understand the process. How were they able to like achieve it? Who were they able to talk to? What are the materials they are using? YouTube is my best friend. I use YouTube like every day. Yes, YouTube is your go-to source. Another thing you can do is, wherever it is you are working, build a community. Talk. Like, I know that we don't want to like share our plans with other people. Without sharing your plan, ask people for their advice. How were you able to do this? How were you able to achieve that? What can I do to get here and how to get out of this? Talk to people, seek people's opinion, and before you know it, you will be all right. Honestly, we all need people.
You've heard it right. Another testimony again. She got two visa sponsorship. She didn't pay any money. You can do it yourself. Share this video with anyone that you know is looking for a visa sponsorship job in the UK or abroad, and give this video a like so that more people can see it. Leave your comment in the